this is Qwade. Um, so I've kind of been putting off making this holotape. Um, let's just say I didn't really have, like, I guess not my proudest moments. A few lapses of judgment and such. Um, so after having, done those uh, interviews, I guess, over at my camp to try to get information on, where these thugs that have been messing with the Wayward were coming from. Um, and that's going pretty well. And then having gone out to the farm and we're supposed to have maybe information on this lumber yard where these thugs were holed up in, um, and actually talking my way into getting one of the farmers there to give me password to get in, um, and and surviving my encounter with um, the giant reptile on the island. I guess I started thinking that, like, maybe I'm actually good at stuff. Um, I on my way to the lumber yard, I actually found like a gas mask, and I thought it looked pretty cool. And remembering um, remembering talking to that last raider, I remember thinking like it was a lot more impressive when you can't see a person's face and they're essentially threatening you. So I, I I felt pretty cocky. I felt like, I could just waltz into this lumber yard and just tell them, hey, back off, leave the Wayward alone. They're under my protection. And that's essentially what I started off doing. I got to the door, I gave the passcode, they just let me in, and I walked straight in, and I remember thinking, like, oh, look how tough these guys are. They put spikes on trucks and stuff. Um, it was about the time that I started to get to this underground part of their base. Um, when it started to dawn on me that if things went south, I'd have the entire camp to take on my way out, and nothing but a rifle and like a few weeks training of using it to work with me. Um, by the time I met the leader of this gang, a man called Roper, I think, um, I was scared. Uh, let's put it that way. I My voice cracked a lot more than I would have liked, and I asked him to leave the Wayward alone, and well, uh, I'm alive. Is the best I can say about that interaction. Um, I tried to make him believe that, like, I was Crane, and like I didn't know where the treasure was, and they were all wasting their time, and yeah, he saw through that bullshit. Um, so well, I I I uh, I broke a deal with him, I guess. Um, Luckily for me, he was a lot more reasonable than he could have been. Tap something there. Um, so so yeah, essentially, I told him that I'd find the treasure for him if he'd leave the Wayward alone. Um, he agreed to it. So I had, this news to bring back to the Duchess. Um, it was a long walk to get to the lumberyard to start with. Um, it it felt a lot longer on the way back. I'll tell you that much. Um, I kind of expected Duchess to be pissed. Um, but she took it she took it pretty well, I guess. Um, I won't put words in her mouth. I'll just let her say it. Let me get the tape. Hey, Duchess.
You're back. You managed to get those punks out of our hair yet?
Sort of. I worked out a deal with them. We just have to tell them where the treasure is.
Oh, is that all? I guess I should have specified how I would have liked this to be resolved. I suppose it's on both our heads to find this treasure then. But you did good. Shows maybe you could be trusted. Maybe. But there's still the issue of my missing muscle. They went out chasing some unsavory characters. Never came back. They're two of the tougher cookies I've met in my day. So them being gone this long means something happened. You track them down? Maybe I remember a thing or two about this Crane fella.
Sure. What can you tell me about the folks that have gone missing?
Well, missing person number one's named Polly. Got a transmitter in her. You could track her with your little radio there. Missing person number two goes by Saul. Those two are closer than toes and bad stilettos. So if you find one, the other's likely close by.
Yeah.
Find them for me, and I'll pay you for the privilege of getting to yell at them in person.
Sounds good. I guess. Any idea where they went?
Not the foggiest, but that's where the transmitter comes in. Tune to her station and it should get you going in the right direction.
Wait, transmitter. Polly's got a transmitter in her?
Yeah, little something I slipped under her exterior plating in case she got carried off. I did mention she's a combat bot, right?
No, you didn't.
A friendly one. I got her reprogrammed when I bought her, so she's not gonna hurt you. Unless they bashed up her combat inhibitor. Then, all bets are off. I made the same offer to Saul regarding the tracker under his exterior, but he declined. Go figure.
Oh, I take it Saul isn't a combat robot then? Okay. What can you tell me about what they were looking for?
They're called the Scorched. They're an unpleasant bunch, in character and appearance. They've got raw skin, with crystals sticking out of them.
Oh.
And they're still real handy when it comes to firearms and bludgeons. So
yeah.
You'll want to be careful around them. That's for damn sure.
I see. Yeah, I've seen the Scorched before. I thought they were, like, really messed up ghouls. Okay, so they're called Scorched then. Yeah, I'll find what happened to them.
Appreciate it. Polly's tracking frequency is 99.7. The once proud home of Appalachia's smooth jazz. I figured someone should get some use out of it. Find out what happened to them. If I need to find new people, I'd like to at least ensure I tried to do right by the old ones.
All right. All right. Well, I'll take a look into that. Scorched. All right. Well, I know how to deal with Scorched. Yeah. So, feeling a little bit better, I guess. At this point, um, I didn't make a holotape right away. Um, I figured there wasn't that much, useful info for myself to keep track of. So I headed off right away, try to find Polly, Saul. It wasn't the easiest thing in the world. I picked up the tracker real quick. I had more issues trying to do what I remember is called triangulation to try to pinpoint where the signal was actually coming from. Um, it took a little wandering around to eventually figure out where that was. Um, I eventually realized that the signal was coming from underground, and the way I got in to this location, which turned out to be a mine, was through a back entrance um, up the side of the hillside nearby where the mine is located, um, near a bunch of train tracks and stuff. Um, it just had a wooden door as an entrance. It wasn't locked or anything, so it was pretty easy to get into. Um, it didn't take too long after that to find Polly.
Hey! Hey! Someone there? I could use a lift.
Uh, yeah, someone's here. What's up?
You are a sight for sore eye. So, those things didn't get you, huh? You happen to see a young man on your way through? Early 20s? Rough around the edges? Carrying about a bullet's worth of extra lead in him?
I didn't see him, no.
Crap. He must have just got lost somewhere. Look, what do you say you and I help each other out? My friend's hurt, and my best guess is he likely tried to make his way back to this little bar near the river, the Wayward. You help me find him, and I'll bake to a crisp anything that looks at us wrong.
Yeah, that sounds like a deal. Sure.
That's the ticket. Now, let's... You hear that? Sounds like those things have regrouped. How about we make them regret it? Come on, darling. Let's make sure these things never bother the Wayward again.
So, after this, Polly and I, or at least Polly's head and I, made our way through the rest of the vine, shooting up as much scorched as we came across. Um, we we eventually found Saul. He was farther up the vine shaft. Actually, if I had come in from the entrance, I probably would have bumped into him. As it was, though, um, I found Polly first. It looks like he had taken out a few scorched himself, um, but I'll let him talk.
Can't believe you're still alive, Polly.
Should be more worried about yourself, bucko. Our friend's only got room for one in here. Are you going to be able to manage on your own?
I think so. But a stim pack would make the walk back a hell of a lot easier.
Oh, yeah, I have a stim pack. Here you go.
Oh, thank God. Thank you. Good to know there's still some heart out there. I think I can make it. You guys just go on ahead. This might take a while.
You heard the man, Silver. Hi-ho.
Hi-ho. There wasn't that much more scorched. It looks like Saul and Polly had pretty much cleared the place before I had arrived too, so it wasn't too difficult to get back to the top and out. We made our way back to the Wayward. I lost track of Saul at some point. I have no idea how, but somehow he made his way back to the Wayward before I did, with Polly, while injured. I guess that's why Duchess is so fond of these two. They're full of surprises. got back to the Wayward and came up with a new plan to help poor Polly, you know, beheading issues. Um, let me play this here.
Whoa. You're not looking so great, darling.
Duchess, I'm not feeling great.
Friend, why don't you sit her down?
Yeah.
Jug should do the trick.
Jug? Sure. Here you go, Polly.
This is real snug.
Yeah.
That's not gonna do it all.
Sorry.
Polly, this is all my fault.
Solomon, no. Don't you dare. This is not... Duchess, tell me you emptied this out.
Did I? You know, I'm 80%.
Duchess,
It's all right. I can fix this. There's a robotics shop over in Summersville that... Oh.
Solomon, you're going nowhere.
Yeah, you were pretty beat up, man.
I'm sorry to even ask, but is there any chance you might be able to help us out here? I can make it worth your while.
Yeah.
Find Polly this new body.
Okay.
I'll tell you everything I know about Crane and his treasure.
please say yes.
Yeah. Sure. I'll track a new body down.
You are a lifesaver. Here, take this. It's a signal beacon. Just plant that on Polly's new frame, and we'll handle it from there.
All right.
And here, you'll need this to get into the place. Just leave it unlocked so we can come and get the body later. And make
all
sure
right.
it's pristine. No damage, no reprogramming. Factory defaults only. I don't want anything going wrong in the transfer.
And at the risk of
Sure.
sounding like a broken record, thank you. We'll all owe you big after this.
Yeah, no problem. I mean, Polly needs a body after all, right? All right. Well, guess I'm off. And that brings us, up to date. Yeah. I mostly made this holotape at this point just to clear my head and have a place to store, everything that went on recently and what I'm actually supposed to be doing. Also, I'm feeling a bit better now with the less than failure of actually finding Saul and Polly and bringing them back to the Wayward. I have to admit, I was feeling like absolute crap up to this point. I felt like I let down Duchess with the whole lumberyard situation, but it sounds like it's, we're gonna make it work. That's about it. I think I've made this holotape long enough. Yeah, it looks like I don't have actually much more space in this thing, so I'll put this down for now and make my way back home and figure out where I'm heading off next. Find Polly a new body.